Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
What up, Cavs fans, and welcome to another fun edition of the Block the Shot to Stop, a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast. I'm Tim Daniel, and I'm very excited to be here as it is now officially draft time. The NBA Finals just wrapped up. If you checked out yesterday's show, Skylar and Kevin did an awesome breakdown on Jalen Tyson and Craig Porter Jr. and what they could provide for the Cavaliers moving forward for the 25-26 season. And now it's time to think about what is the NBA draft going to look like for the Cavs. Now, if you're just checking us out, I am recording this on Monday, so this will go out Wednesday, and we're going to discuss the possibility of what the Cavs are going to do. I know right now, at the time of recording, they have picks 49 and 58. That's all I know. What could change by then? They could package those picks together. I heard Windor say it's a possibility they could put the picks together and move up, but I'm going with the process that they have these picks, and they're trying to fill the needs that they need for the roster, or they're just trying to draft and stash a couple guys and keep them down with the charge, which is probably the right way to go. But we're going to talk about a couple of guys I think fit the Cavs and where they're picking that are kind of in that range and why they're a good fit for the Cavaliers. And the first thing you have to do when you go to that point is identify what are the Cavs' needs. And I think the two biggest Cavs needs at the moment, I mean, it's a great roster as we know, is a third big and a wing scorer. I think those are kind of your biggest ones there. You need to get more athletic. We've seen them kind of slump with that in the playoffs, specifically in that Indiana series. And we need a guy that you can kind of put out there with Evan, with Jarrett. I don't necessarily know by themselves. And we all love Tristan Thompson, but that's probably not the guy you want to use in that circumstance. So I brought together about 5 to 10 names of guys that I really like that could be potential fits for the Cavs. And I want to discuss them and why I think they're a good fit here during this episode. I also asked some of you people on the socials, whether it be Blue Sky, X, anywhere, some guys you also like to see for the Cavaliers as well in this draft, and going to break down a few of those as well. All right. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start here. I'm going to go with the big. And the first big I really like for the Cleveland Cavaliers is Johnny Broome out of Auburn University. Forgive me for using my phone if you're watching this live. I just have all my notes here. So Johnny Broome is a 6'9" big, played for Auburn this last year, really blew up this past season, had an excellent year. And there's a lot to really like about his game, specifically how Kenny Atkinson and the Cavs use their guys, and likely a upgrade from the Javonte Green spot where the Cavs could rely on him to play a little more if need be, or just a guy that can go refine some more of his skills. But what he does bring to the floor is something the Cavs really need: physicality. Very strong, very aggressive, go-getter. The MFer term that we've been using quite a bit on the shows of late. That describes a lot of Johnny Broome. He's a two-way player. He's really physical. He does need to work on his touch a little bit on his shooting, but has a lot to provide that I really like. As far as in a pick and roll, it's been the roll man a lot. I'm looking at Parker Fleming's draft stock here, and points per possession when he was the roll man for Auburn was 1.24. The efficient field goals rate in that time frame as well was 60.2. So pretty decent numbers. His individual numbers, 18.5 points a game, 10.3 rebounds. Love that. What I really love, something the Cavs really struggle with, offensive rebounding. Johnny last year had 3.4 offensive rebounds a game for Auburn. And also is just a really physical guy, like I said, and last year shot 66% on 261 attempts at the rim, also coming from Parker Fleming's draft guide, a really good draft guide you guys should check out. And also, if you love the guys like Evan Mobley, who can knock the ball out of the floor, Johnny Broome averaged 2 blocks a game for Auburn last year. Now, what you can do here is if you do manage to keep this pick, Johnny is a guy that, will be physical. He'll be a guy that, if Jared and Evan need a break, you can throw him out there. He's not going to hurt you defensively. You have a lot of reliability you can have with him there. So I really like him in this situation. I think he's a guy I'd really love to get my hands on if I'm the Cavs, and we'll see how that goes. On the guard side of things, I'm going to talk about Ryan Nembhard out of Gonzaga. I really like Ryan Nembhard a lot. I've actually talked to scouts about him and kind of get an idea of why is he going so low. So depending what mock draft you look at, you're seeing him in the 50s. and his production on the floor doesn't match that. Obviously, that can happen a lot in college basketball. But what I really love about Ryan Nembhard, 9.5 assists a game, only 2.3 turnovers a game, 1.7 steals a game, 40% shooter from three, 77% from the free throw line, and is extremely good in the catch and shoot. Last year shot 44% from catch and shoot and is been really, really physical. He's a great facilitator. Needs to really work a little bit more on the defense. So I do love the steals game as well. And my biggest things for him is what had really jumped out to me. He's a point guard on a really good team. Obviously, he's got the bloodline with his brother being Andrew Nembhard, who just played in the NBA Finals and obviously had a really good series against the Cavs. But mostly, I was kind of shocked at why he was going so low. So I reached out to some scout buddies I got to know from my time covering college basketball. And my thought process was, why is he going so low? Why are people kind of putting him out of the way? His numbers are great. His production is great. He played on a really good basketball team. If you're looking right now around the league, Mark Few's doing a really good job of putting guys in the league. And so I was like, what is it about him? And I was legitimately told by a scout that if Ryan Nembhard was 6'5", he'd be a top 10 pick in the NBA draft. So what they're telling me is the Cavs right now could potentially get a guy like that and doesn't really solve the Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell small guard thing, but additional ball handler. You saw that there were stretches in the playoffs where the Cavs had trouble getting the ball across half court. That's something where Nembhard can come in. Again, maybe not going to need him that worst case scenario there. So, but I really like him in that situation. Think he's a guy that could be really promising and a guy that could be really great for the Charge for a year to kind of get things going and see what he has as well. So Ryan Nembhard is a big name for me. I like him a lot. He's a guy I'm really looking at as far as really promising as well. This was a name that kind of shocked me, was out there, and I'm not going to spend too much time, but Victor Locken from Clemson also spent time at the University of Cincinnati. I covered Victor for a couple of years when he was at UC, and I liked Victor. I thought Victor had a lot of talent, but he was a guy that at times at UC couldn't really get on the floor. He can create steals and blocks. He's a good connector from the perimeter, but doesn't have a surefire position. I don't really think he moves his feet around really well. But, and I'm also kind of worried about, like, can he shoot at this level? Can he give the Cavs additional scoring for that situation? So he's a name that's come up a lot. He's a name I was actually asked to cover on here. And I think he's talented. I think he has worked himself into being a prospect. His time at Clemson, I did not realize how much better he got than his time at UC. But literally only putting him on here because I was asked about him. He's not a guy I'm sitting there thinking about for the Cavs that, like, oh yeah, Victor Locken for sure. Go put him on your big board. I could see him going there, but he's not a guy that I'm going to be like gung-ho if they get him. And so I just don't know if I'm the guy I want to spend one of my picks on. Again, if they even have these picks. Another name that I really, really do like for the Cavs as far as getting that extra scoring is John Tonji out of Wisconsin. Super senior, played 4 years in college, career 46% three-point shooter, just played his best year going into his senior year, has the size, could potentially guard other positions. Going to need to work a little bit on that as well, but I like him a lot. So Tonji's a name that jumps out as well. Also, Vladislav Golden out of Michigan is a guy I was asked about. I just listed a lot of things what I really liked about Johnny Broome to start the show. How about a 17.7 rebound guy? Also really good offensive rebound guy. Doesn't get the blocks that Broome does, but is a better shooter, 70% at the rim, and a better free throw shooter, 73% from the line as well. Think that they have a lot of gold in there. He's a guy I've seen mocked to the Cavs quite a bit, and that's the name that's really dynamic and interesting as well. So that's put me at, 4 names here. And let me give you my 5th before I take our break that I want to talk about. Then I'll get you to my other 5. And that's Elijah Martin out of Florida, just played for the national championship. There's a lot I like about Elijah Martin. There's a lot I want to see him get better at. He's a really good rebounder for being a wing. He's really physical. He gets a lot of steals. He shoots really well from the line. He can get to the rim very well. The three-point shooting's got to get better, though. He shot 34% from 3 last year and shot 45% from the floor. Want to see him pick up there, but I like a lot about his game. I think he's really physical. He's a really good defender. He's a really good perimeter defender specifically, what the Cavs really need a lot of. So want to see him get a little bit better on that outside shooting. But point of attack wise, I think if you're seeing a guy you want to kind of blitz and play at the top of the key to guard a really good ball handler, Elijah Martin's a guy you could look at there as well. So want to kind of get to him. I think he has a lot of shot props ability to be a good Cavs pick. He's a guy I'm seeing mocked a lot to the Cavs. But wanted to make sure I threw his name out there because I think he's a guy you could see going to Cleveland and even contributing day one, possibly, as far as being a rotation guy. But we shall see on that as well. So I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to give you guys 5 other names I really like for the Cavs. So I'll be right back in just a moment. All right, and we're back, guys. And so we got a couple more guys I wanted to discuss here as possibilities for the Cavaliers. And I talked a lot there about just perimeter defense, defenders, bigs, things like that. I didn't talk a whole lot about scorers because even though these guys may not bring the most in scoring, there's a few guys I want to talk about here that, defense, these are guys that can score the ball really well. And this name is one that I 1,000% would be so happy if the Cavs could get. And that's Kobe Bree out of Kentucky, a 6'5" super senior. And he was incredible for the Wildcats last year. You're talking about a guy who can put up 43% from three, a 92% free throw shooter, 46% from the field overall. I think he has what it takes to be a 54-90 kind of guy. He was 55% on 2-pointers last year as well. And here's the big one. Catch and shoot threes, 44%. And just otherworldly shooting, great off-ball guy. For him, he's a guy that I think that the Cavs could just get that extra boost, that extra bench boost, especially if they do go and lose guys like Sam Merrill. If they don't get Ty Jerome back, Kobe Bree is a guy that might be able to contribute to your team day one. And I think that's something where that physicality, that shooting ability can do a lot. Now, defensively, not what you're looking for him, but a guy I still really like. Two-way guy, perimeter defender, Jameer Watkins out of Florida State. Really, really good cutter. Not a very good outside shooter, but 18 points a game, 5 rebounds a game. Super physical defender. Is someone that I really like a lot. About as in transition, is a guy that's really physical as well. It shot 57% effective field goal percentage in transition. And at the rim, 60% short scorer. Not great, but obviously a guy you can rely on a lot. Issues with him, he can't shoot threes. He turns the ball over. But if you're moving on from Isaac Okoro, might be a guy you can think about there. Amari Williams, also from Kentucky. Just kind of that extra thing I was talking about. Not a big of a scorer as Broom is, but super physical rebounder, passes the ball really well. A guy I like a lot. So we're talking about a guy, 3 assists a game as a center, 8 rebounds a game, but just about 10, 11 points per game as well. So that's a guy I like as well. I'll tell you who's a guy that just feels very Cleveland Cavalier. That's Max Strus out of Virginia Commonwealth University. Max is a 6'4" guard. He averaged, listen to these numbers, they're kind of insane. 15 points per game, 5 rebounds a game, 4 assists a game, 1.7 turnovers a game, 1.7 steals a game, 43% catching 3. You talk about this a lot. Cavs need perimeter defenders. That is what this dude does. Has the ability to be a 3-and-D guard, super physical guy, can make things really difficult on the ball handler, and that's where the Cavs really could have a huge pop for him. Also a really good shooter, nice sharpshooting guy, a guy you can put in the corner, knock some shots down for you. I really like him a lot. Tyrese Proctor from Duke intrigues me. There's a lot of things to work on there. He's for sure he's going to be playing for the charge a lot of the season kind of guy. But as a spot-up shooter, a 63% effective field goal percentage, does not turn the ball over. But issues with him are not a very good passer. He played at Duke last year with Cooper Flagg, Con Nipple, Maluk, 2.2 assists a game as a starting guard. But as far as the dribble, he can create his own shot, a 64.5% shooter on his dribble drive jumper. Good outside shooter, has a chance to be a good 3-and-D guard. Played a lot of point guard at Duke. So here, what could be good for the Cavs is bigger guard, 6'5", kind of makes things a little easier for that situation as well. So that can kind of help for them as well. And then Javon Small from West Virginia is a guy a lot of people seem to like to the Cavs. And kind of go through real quick, 18.6 points a game, 4.1 rebounds a game, 5.6 assists per game. Another guy who does really well not turning the ball over, 2.6 turnovers a game, 1.5 steals a game, 88% free throw shooter, 60% at the rim for his size, really good. But what people really like about him, point of attack defense. If you notice my trend here, besides Kobe Bree and John Tanji, I've talked a lot about really good defensive players. I think that's what the Cavs are going to be looking for. I don't think he's much of a spacer, but as a ball handler in the pick and roll, he worked out a lot at West Virginia. According to Parker Fleming's draft guide here, when I was researching him, 220 possessions as a PNR ball handler, effective field goal percentage of 50.3. That's so-so. But in transition, an effective field goal percentage of 52.1. I think that's where he could really fit in really well for this team. Another guy I mentioned for the Cavs a lot is R.J. Lewis Jr. out of St. John's, played for Patino last year. 6'6" guy, 18 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, and really good in transition. Now, scoring, he can put the ball in the basket closely, but 46% on 2-point attempts, 75% from the free throw line, only a 33% three-point shooter. That's going to be a concern, and also has issues holding on to the ball at 2.2 turnovers per game, more turnovers than assists per game. Probably something the Cavs aren't going to want there, but a guy that you can work on, you can develop. He can be a guy that you can put into really good situations to maybe make your team a little bit better. Dink Pate really interests me. Now, he played for Mexico City in the G League last year. He's a 10.5 rebound a game guy. He's 19 years old. He's 6'6". He's got a 6'10" wingspan. He's really good for your transition offense, and he is fast. He's a guy that if the Cavs are really looking to kind of get a ball, get a rebound, push it up the floor, he's that. He's got a lot of energy. He's a really physical guy, but doesn't do any single thing particularly well. Obviously, besides the speed part, 62% in transition last year is his effective field goal percentage. So he's a name I like as well that I would really like to see maybe put in the charge. See how you can develop stuff there and become a little better. Hunter Salas from Wake Forest is a guy a lot of people like. 80% free throw shooter, 63% at the rim, 18.5 rebound guy. Played a lot of really good basketball at Wake Forest, a really good mid-range shooter. Little inconsistency, but has a skill to be a good perimeter defender. If he can figure out a three-point shot where he just shot 28% last year, Hunter Salas could really develop into a really good NBA player for a really long time. So we're going through names here that probably aren't, obviously we're not talking about your Cooper Flaggs, your Dylan Harpers, your Ace Baileys, your Knock Nipples, your guys like that. But we're talking about guys that we feel like could really fit what the Cavs want to do. And if they're even going to keep these picks is going to be the thing that's interesting. I don't see the Cavs being a team that trades up into the first round by any means. But like I mentioned to start the show, Wendy did kind of mention that possibly the Cavs could combine their picks and try to move up as well. And that's where this kind of gets interesting too, because you do have some names that are probably going to go high in that second round that could really fit the Cavs. Guys like Adu Thero out of Arkansas, 6'6" wing, 15 points a game, 5.7 rebounds a game, really good shooter, has a really good cutter, I should say. If he can figure out a little bit of a shooting touch, I think as a guy that could really be helpful on an NBA bench, be an 8th, 9th guy off the bench. And that's what the Cavs are probably going to be looking for if they're trying to improve roster spots or move on from roster spots. Cam Jones is a guy who gets a lot of love out of Marquette. His numbers look great, 19, 4, and 5. Really good shooter in the mid-range. Cannot shoot threes. Not a great free throw shooter, but does hold on to the ball. Feels like you can trust him to not lose you a game. And I mean, as far as like his defensive ability, it's there. He's really good at closeouts. It's something the Cavs kind of struggle with a little bit in the Pacers series, as we saw, but he's a guy I really like as well. And then I really like Micah Peavy out of Georgetown. 6'7", 6'7" wingspan, good size. He's about 212 pounds. And another guy who does a lot of things really well. He can't shoot threes. He can't shoot from the free throw line, but 39% from three, 51% from the floor, 2.3 steals a game. And if you put him in the corner, as far as catch and shoot three, has the ability, 40.5 there. But that's another guy I'm talking about. Just excellent perimeter defense that you can bring to the Cavs. Again, fits into this trend I have here with where they got beat really bad last year by the Pacers is this. I feel like that's kind of a good group there as far as guys I mentioned. I don't see the Cavs going and getting into the first round to go get like a Ryan Kalkbrenner or a Sion James or a Danny Wolf or Igor Demon. Now, if one of them drops to them somehow in 49, which I don't think is going to happen, awesome. Then go for it. But I don't think the Cavs are in a position where they got to go trade up to try to get an impact player. I don't think the Cavs feel like they have to do that either. But those are some names there I really liked as well. And my goal is Thursday night. I'm going to go live when the Cavs are picking. be here on the YouTube channel talking about it and then put the pod up afterwards. So once the Cavs do make a pick, I can give you a little bit of a thought process there if they make a pick. Now, if they don't make a pick, you probably won't see me Thursday night. But I am excited to see how this shakes out. Really curious to see what the Cavs roster is going to look like if they even have some of these guys here. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for spending some time with me. I know it was just 20 minutes and it was a little brief just talking about each guy. Hard to fit that many guys into a conversation, especially when you're by yourself, but definitely appreciate you checking out. Let me know what you think. Did you like my scouting on some guys? Did you like my thought process here? Is there any guys I didn't mention you would like me to talk about? And we can get a little detail on Thursday as well. I'm all for it. Everyone, enjoy your night. Enjoy the first round of the draft. And if all things go as planned, I will see you on Thursday.